Hey guys, what's up? It's Samantha, and today I am back with another Plan With Me, and if you are wondering where I've been or why I'm doing a Christmas spread in the middle of September, you should go back and watch my previous video where I sort of explain where I've been for the last 6 months and also what my plans are in terms of Plan With Me's and all of that good stuff. I'll try to remember to put a card on the screen so that it'll link to that video, but it was my previous video just sort of explaining what's been going on in my life, where I've been, all of that good stuff. But I am trucking right along with finishing up my 2020 spreads so that I can jump back into current spreads and have a full completed year of memory keeping. But I absolutely love this kit, and the foil that I'm using is this really beautiful, sparkly, chunky, hollow blue foil that is just chef's kiss perfection, and I am very, very excited with how this turned out. But I am actually going to be answering some questions that I got from you guys months ago. I actually answered them in a different video that never ended up getting, I never ended up making it live on YouTube. I uploaded the wrong video, and then life got away from me. I clicked the wrong file when I was uploading stuff, and life got away from me. I never went back and uploaded the correct file and all of that kind of stuff. So I figured I would just re-answer these questions that you guys had for me from earlier this year. Most of them are still relevant. A lot of them were about my moving plans and my job plans and that sort of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to start with a couple of the shorter, easier questions and then finish on sort of an amalgamation of all of the job questions I got. So the first question I have is, how did I move my books? How did I organize that sort of thing? So I obviously with my books, I couldn't bring all of them to the apartment. If you didn't know, my husband and I are building a house, and I will have a library room in our house, which I'm very excited about, having 360 degrees, except for the door, having 360 degrees of shelving is going to be pretty cool. I'm very excited about it. But I did not have the space to bring my whole book collection to the apartment that we're living in. So I brought about somewhere between a quarter and a third of my books with me to the apartment. The rest of them are in storage in my in-laws' basement. They had a lot of space in their basement, so they offered it up to us for us to store things down there so that we didn't have to pay for a storage unit, which was really, really nice of them. They also live in the Columbus area, so they're only about a half an hour, 35 minutes away from us, so it'll be easy to get all of our stuff when our house is done. But I basically just went through and picked books I hadn't read yet, or books that had the next in series coming out while we will be in the apartment, so that I can reread earlier entries in the series to get ready for the next book. So those were pretty much my two things. And then there were a couple books that I reread every year, like The Night Circus, that I brought with me. And I brought pretty much all of my recipe books, since I have a little bit more time to cook and have fun with that. So yeah, that was pretty much how I picked what books I was going to bring, and I made sure the books I was bringing would all fit on the two shelves that I brought with me. So I brought one full-size Billy bookcase and then one of the half-width ones. So I made sure before I packed everything up that they would all fit on those shelves, and they did. So yeah, that was how I picked which books I was going to bring with me, and then I boxed them up separately. I turned down all of the books, I laid them all on their spines, the ones that I wasn't taking with me, I think, or vice versa, but I basically noted on the shelf, by whether it was standing up or laying down, where it was going, and I packed those separately and labeled them separately and stuff. And then someone wanted to know if I organize my reading plans, and if so, how. And yes, I do organize my reading plans. I use a Google sheet that I like use to create all of the graphs that I post at the end of every month for like my reading stats for each month. If you follow me on Instagram, then like you see that every month. So I use that Google spreadsheet to input books that I am planning on reading in the upcoming month. I usually sit down like before the month starts or the first couple days of the month, and I will look at arcs that I haven't read yet that are upcoming, or if there's the next book in a series is coming out and I want to read it right away. Like, do I need to reread earlier books in the series to get like caught up or to refresh my memory? Looking at books that I've pre-ordered, looking at books that have come in or are about to come in on hold on my Libby app from the library, books that I've purchased and I've been meaning to get to for a while. Sometimes I'll save things like for a specific season, or I'll have an idea like, oh, I want to read this book in the fall or the winter or whatever. So I'll slap it on. I try to give myself like wiggle room. So I try to maybe give myself like 10 books more than I think I'm actually going to read. That way I still have some wiggle room for mood reading. And obviously, there's always going to be a book or two that I end up, adding on that wasn't on my radar at the beginning of the month. But like for whatever reason, I end up picking it up, and that's totally fine too. But yeah, then at the end of the month, anything I didn't read, I delete those rows out of the spreadsheet, and then I use all of that data, like it populates the same graphs and charts. I have like a template for all of my tabs on like that Google Sheet thing, and I just like copy it every month so I have all the same like graphs, and it pulls from all the same stuff every month, so I have the same types of graphs and all that every month. But that's how I organize all that. And then someone wanted to know my favorite ice cream. That's easy. It's probably just cookie dough. I really like cookie dough ice cream. And then my least favorite planner trend. So I'm going to go with my least favorite planner trend ever, because quite frankly, I feel very out of the loop with what like the planner trends are right now. I feel like I see a lot of people using like fountain pens recently. I don't know if that's like a planner trend or if just fountain pens have had a renaissance in the last couple months. I've sort of been, not really paying attention to planner trends. But since I've been planning, probably my least favorite planner trends have been like that year that everything was millennial pink. I don't really like pink that much to begin with. And if I'm going to use pink, like I'd rather have, like a bright pink or a hot pink or a magenta or something like that. But when everything was pale pink all of the time for like a full year, I was so sick of it. Like I just wanted pink to die so badly. And then also probably like that year, maybe 4 or 5 years ago when TNs, like everyone discovered TNs all at once and everyone was constantly doing like flip throughs and setups and all of that. Like I just could never like get on board. Obviously, like if TNs work for you, I'm so happy. I personally like TNs just never worked for me. I don't like doing setups. I don't like making dashboards. I don't like making like covers for different inserts. I don't like all the fiddly bits and the die cuts and the acetates and the vellums and like keeping that stuff around and doing the crafting and like all of that. I don't have patience for. I don't like for collecting all of that ephemera to like do the crafting. And I know for some people it's a great like creative outlet, but for me, I just hate clutter so much. So I like don't like keeping all of those fiddly bits around that you need to like create those setups. So honestly, at this point, I pretty much just throw out like journaling cards, die cuts. Like I don't keep very much of that stuff at all. I don't really use it. And that's probably why like TNs, that whole sort of thing just like never worked for me. Someone wanted to know my favorite sticker of all time. It's probably the Paper and Milk Maru, like the coffee and reading sticker. Denise reformatted like when she used to have an old version of it, and then she like reformatted all of her stickers and she got rid of it, and then she ended up reformatting it. I like asked for it and she reformatted the coffee and reading stickers. They're like my favorite. I burn through them so quickly. They're just like my all-time favorite sticker. They're probably my most used sticker too. They make me very happy in both like the original format and her reformat. Like, love them both. And then I got asked if I am using the Hobonichi that I bought, and if so, how. So earlier this year, I bought a Hobonichi Techo Cousin, which is a departure for me. I've never really done any kind of like bullet journal or anything like that, and I absolutely love it. I'm not really using it as like a fancy bullet journal kind of thing. I basically use it as a to-do list brain dump every single day. I really don't use the monthly or the weekly spreads at all, but the day-to-day spreads I absolutely love. I make a to-do list every single day. It helps keep me organized and focused and getting stuff done. A lot of times I'll write things down like the night before. That way I'm like, oh, tomorrow morning I need to do X, Y, and Z. And I like that it helps me stay organized and I don't have to-do lists in a bunch of different areas. And then I also, like in the bottom left-hand corner, will write down anything I did during the day that I would want to put like in my memory keeping spread. And then I also will use like the pages and stuff to take notes when I have phone calls, especially with all of the stuff around like building our house and all the different people we talk to, whether it's like the mortgage people or the builder or what have you. I can take notes on everything, write down phone numbers, write down names, and have everything like in one place that I can flip back and reference. So that's been really nice. I keep it open on my kitchen island all of the time, and I am obsessed with it. I love it. It's the greatest purchase I've ever made. It's definitely been a very practical organizational tool for me, and I love it. And then real quickly here at the end, I got a lot of questions about my job, if I had a job lined up, what I was going to be doing when I moved, all sorts of those kinds of questions. I think I got it like asked like 10 or 15 times in different varieties. So the answer is right now, I do not have a job lined up. I intentionally did not look for a job before we moved. Everything has been so crazy, and Joe was starting his new job right away. His hours are insane. He's working a ton. So it's been really nice that I'm able to kind of take care of all of like the stuff around like all the meetings with the house and all the chores, all the errands, all of that kind of stuff. I'm able to do that kind of stuff during the day, as well as finally having time and space and energy to take care of myself and my health. If you guys don't know, if you're new here, I have lupus, and my health has like been the best it's been in years because I have the time and space to better take care of myself. I'm not stressed out. I'm not worrying about like not having enough sick time to cover, like to be paid at work, that sort of thing. And then Joe and I are actually able to enjoy our evenings and our weekends together instead of like me being exhausted and burnt out and like sleeping for 15 hours a night, like during the weekends, and then trying to get all the chores and errands done. I am able to like actually be present, and it's like been really good. It's like working out really well for both of us. I think I will definitely go back to Library World once like life settles down, or do something in that space again. But right now I'm really enjoying being able to be at home. I'm still reading a ton. I'm still doing like review work and that sort of stuff. Like I'm keeping my toe dipped in the professional pool. But right now it's been really nice for me to kind of be able to take care of myself after a lot of years of stress. And, I supported Joe while he pursued his dream. And now I have some like passion projects I want to work on, and Joe is supporting me through that. And like, that's how a good marriage works. So it's all good. I'm really happy, and I'm honestly really glad to not be working for a little bit right now, just because I'm like so burnt out and all that. But with that said, that is everything for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will have the next few spreads up pretty quickly here. It feels good to like actually be posting videos again. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys in my next one.